I didn't expect to see you boys this afternoon. Well, come along inside.
Thank you, Mrs. Parker. Mrs. Parker, we had to cycle over to see you. We have brought you an exciting piece of news.
Have you indeed? But you boys shouldn't be alone on such an afternoon like this. The fog is getting thicker every minute. Sit down at once and I'll bring you some tea.
Thank you, Mrs. Parker. Thank you, Mrs. Parker. Thank you, Mrs. Parker.
Now please tell me, what's that exciting piece of news?
2 convicts escaped from the prison this afternoon.
What? Convicts escaped from the prison?
Why, Mrs. Parker? What's up? I believe we have frightened you. There's nothing to be scared about. You know, the convicts aren't likely to come this way. And anyhow, Alec and I are with you.
That's all right. I'm not afraid, but I was thinking of you boys. You shall start back for the village as soon as you finish your tea. Excuse me, I'll come in a minute.
Now, who would have thought Mrs. Parker would be nervous of a convict? She has lived alone in this cottage for the last 6 months and has never shown the slightest fear. Well, as my dad says, where women are concerned, the unexpected always happens. Hello, who can this be? Let's hope it's not one of the convicts. Should we open the door or call Mrs. Parker? Open the door, Alec. If it's a convict, we'll be ready for him.
Good evening. I've called to see Mrs. Parker. What are you 2 kids doing here?
Hello, Joe. We are all here to see Mrs. Parker. And by the way, there's no need for that word kids. You're not quite 99 yourself yet.
Boys of your age should be kept at home when there are dangerous criminals at large. Do you know, there may be a couple of convicts prowling about the house at this moment.
As a matter of fact, I picked this up in case you were one of them.
Why, Joe? What are you doing here on such an evening?
I've come to ask you a few questions, Mrs. Parker, as I'm helping my uncle, the constable of the village, and I hope you'll be so kind to answer them.
Well, Joe, I'll do my best. Will you have a cup of tea?
No thanks. There's no time for tea when there's work to do. Somewhere out on those moors, there be 2 desperate criminals ready to murder us in our beds. Maybe if they get a chance.
I shouldn't let that make you nervous, Joe. They'll probably be caught before nightfall.
Nervous? Make me nervous? As a matter of fact, I'm hoping to catch one of them.
Then why not do it first and boast about it afterwards?
That'll be quite as much as I'll need from you, Tom. Just because you won a couple of prizes at school, you think you can act smart? Well, let me tell you something. My education may not be as fine as yours, but I've been taking correspondence lessons from a school of detectives. And by the time you know where you are, I'll be at the top of the police. See?
Don't be silly, Joe. You are too much of a gas bag to make a decent detective.
Who? Am I? That's as may be seen. I tell you, I'm going to catch one and maybe both of the convicts. But before I go, one or two questions I would like to ask Mrs. Parker. I've been hearing things down in the village, and what I want to know is, why should a lady like her want to live alone in a place like this? Why should she live as near to the prison as she possibly can and never encourage any visitors to see her unless it is you two boys?
Shut up, Joe. Wait a minute, Tom. Why are you asking all these questions?
Because I've been hearing things down in the village. Mind, I'm making no accusations against you, but when my aunt wanted you to take one of her paying guests last summer, you refused. You didn't take them for any price she offered you. That made people wonder why you want to be so private-like.
I would thank the people of the village to mind their own business.
Yes, that's as maybe. My uncle be the constable and I want to join the police myself. It's my duty to find out things. That's why I be asking questions.
Why? How dare you spy on me like this? You will be accusing me of hiding the convicts next.
As a matter of fact, I picked this up in case you were one of them.
Please, Tom, don't let's have any fighting. Joe has been reading too many detective stories. I expect that's the cause of the trouble. Now listen, Joe. I want you to leave this house at once. The sports car you saw this afternoon belongs to my nephew. Now go away, Joe, please. And for goodness sake, stop reading silly detective stories.
Well, Mrs. Parker, I'm going. But mind, I'll get to the bottom of this.
You will get to the bottom of Duck Pond if you don't get out quickly.
Go away, Joe, please.
All right, I'm going.
I'm afraid he's going to make a great deal of trouble for me.
He would better not. You know, Mrs. Parker, you have been that good to us that anyone who starts making trouble for you is going to get a nasty blow on the nose. Rather, I say though, fancy, you are having a Bentley sports car hidden away in an old shed. Why have you never told us about it?
Because you might have worried me to let you drive it. Come, now hurry up. I want you to go home.
No fear. We are not going home yet. We don't like the idea of leaving you here alone.
But please, you must go. I tell you.
I say, Mrs. Parker, what's up? You seem awfully worried this afternoon.
Oh heavens, I only wish I could tell you.
Then there is something wrong. Please tell us what it is.
Listen, boys, ever since I took this cottage, we three had been friends, haven't we?
Of course.
Will you both